everybody. I'm Jack Midkiff, and this is my podcast. I appreciate you being with us today. We're just going to talk about some stuff that is interesting to me, and hopefully it'll be interesting to you. This is one of those podcasts that is primarily directed toward men. Ladies, I hope that if you're interested, I hope it's interesting to you as well. But I want to, just before we start, just thank you for always the encouraging words and all the things that people say about these, and I really appreciate that. And I'd love for you to, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe or follow. We have a YouTube channel where these are at. You can download the audio and or video through the different platforms. So, and on all my socials, it's Jack_Midkiff. I'd love to hear from you and stay in touch with you. Today, what I want to talk about is things that men should be interested in as they get older, and things that you should watch and be mindful of. Listen, I live by faith and I speak faith, but I also know that we do live in these bodies that, because of the sin that Adam and Eve participated in, these bodies don't last forever. Now, I believe that it's God's will for me to live in health and fulfill the days of my life. I believe that just because I get older, I don't have to get sick. I don't have to be broke down. And now with anything, however, I believe that we have a responsibility. I think it's being a good steward. I can't live anyway. I can't just go out and do anything. I can't live haphazardly and expect my body and my mind and my overall health to stay intact, because we can do things that shortens our days. We can do things that brings unproductive times into our life. And I just want to encourage you with some of these things today to just, as you get old, here's where I'm at. I'm thankful that I am getting older, because the alternative to that is not having any more birthdays, meaning that life is over here. And as I am excited about being in heaven one day, I'm also thankful that I get to be here on this earth and get to enjoy the things I do, and I want to enjoy all that I can. And see, the reason that I don't live my life, wanting to go to heaven and longing to go to heaven, I'm excited about getting to heaven one day. I'm excited about seeing all that God has prepared for me, but I also want to do it in the time that He actually intended for me to have. Because as long as the world stands, He has a plan. And I believe that the Word says that we can live a long time. And so I want to do everything I can to do that. And quite frankly, I want to encourage you to do everything you can to live as long as you want to. And I personally want to live a long time. And so there's certain things that I'm going to talk about today to help us maintain and perpetuate good health, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And the first thing I want to talk about is physical health. I believe that men should continue to exercise. No matter how old you are, you should find an exercise regimen. I was a member of a gym for a long time here in the town that I live, and there was a sign that in that gym that always said that there was a couple signs that I remember. One of them said that one of the leading causes for men, leading causes for people to go to a nursing home or an assisted living facility is the lack of leg strength. And ever since then, I've kept that in my mind. Now, I've always been, well, since I was about 17 years old, I've been a runner. I love to run. And I know all the jokes. You mean you run and nobody's chasing you? Yeah, I do, because it it helps with heart health. It helps with muscle development and maintenance. There's just a lot of things that exercise. Maybe you're not a runner. That's okay. But find something. Walk. Go to the park. Go to the gym. My mother is in her mid-80s, and there's days that I'll talk to her, and she'll just be walking back and forth in the house because maybe it's raining outside or cold outside, or she just don't feel safe going outside for whatever reason. She'll just walk from one end of the house to the other, and hey, that's exercise, so that's good. But especially as men get older, one of the things that sometimes becomes a real problem is weight. And weight happens because you eat too much. I know there's medical issues. Please don't write me ugly things for saying what I just said. There's things that cause weight gain and all that. But most of the time, we eat too much. That's why we weigh too much. And here's another thing. I heard this years ago, and I've always kept it in the forefront of my mind, and I believe it's true. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. So you can go to the gym every day. You can lift weights like you were 20. You can run a marathon. But if you eat more calories than you're burning, it doesn't matter. There always has to be a calorie deficit for you to even maintain weight, and especially if you want to lose any. So I believe that we should focus on staying healthy physically, and we do that by exercising, eating right. Do you think about what goes in your mouth, or do you just whatever you want you eat? As of this recording, in about a month, I'm going to be turning 54 years old, and my weight is good. My blood pressure is wonderful. I'm so thankful that I have none whatsoever. I have this little app that I get a notice on. And I've thought about turning the notice off, but I don't want to because I don't do this every night. Matter of fact, there'll be weeks sometimes that I don't do it. But I get this notice from this little app that checks my pulse rate. And there, it's you can Google what a pulse rate for a 53-year-old male of this height and weight and everything should be. And just it's just it's the same reason for a vehicle or a car that you pull the dipstick, just to make sure that the oil is at the right level, make sure the motor is taken care of. And with that in mind, unfortunately, sometimes men take more care of the motor in their car than the motor in their body. And the motor in their body meaning their health. Heart health is so important, but it's so affected by the things we do. Heart health is affected by whether or not you smoke. Heart health is affected by what you eat. Heart health is affected by how much you exercise. And, a lot of men that I know are very, very concerned about how clean their car is and how maintained their car is and all that. And then we don't really look at it that much when it comes to our body. Here's the thing about health. I believe in healing. I believe in redemption. I believe in God restoring. I believe in all that. But I also believe in taking care of what you have while you have it, because unfortunately, I've seen it happen so much in this life. Once health is deteriorated and gone, it's nearly impossible to ever regain. It's sometimes only regained by a miracle from God. And so the thing is, and the encouragement today is, don't let it slip away. I've heard so many people say, "Oh, I could never give up this," or "I could never stop eating that." I mean, would you stand there if somebody handed you a time bomb? Would you stand there and go, "Oh, I hope this thing don't go off"? No, you wouldn't. You would get rid of that thing so fast you couldn't even think about it. But yet we'll eat things and go, "Ooh, I hope I don't get, heart disease, or hope this doesn't cause cancer," or whatever. I know this is pretty heavy, but it's things that we need to think about. We need to get in a mindset of walking in and living in a healthy lifestyle. So physical health is so important. This is one that I've not always done good at, but I'm learning and I'm doing better. Mental health. And I'm going to put in there mental and emotional, because they can be the same and they can be slightly different, in my opinion. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but mental health, whether you're talking, emotional things, and I guess I am talking more about emotional type things in this, because later on I've got another note here that is talking about cognitive health, and that's more of like the healthy brain and all that kind of stuff. I believe that we need to do all that we can to maintain both of those, but from an emotional, mental standpoint, it's so important to pay attention. What causes you anxiety? What causes you to feel anxiety? What causes you to feel all stressed out? And what causes you to feel emotionally drained or depressed? We need to pay attention to that. And quite frankly, here just in the last little while, I've been paying really close attention to that. People cause a lot of anxiety in your life if you let them. People can cause a lot of depression, not because of anything you do, but because of what they do. And so I encourage you to listen. I don't think anybody should go around building walls all the time, because walls do really good at keeping things out, but it also keeps you in. But walls and boundaries are two different things. Healthy boundaries are good, because sometimes you don't want to totally alienate or keep somebody out of your life, but there's days that you need a little break. There's days that you just need a little, here's a phrase that everybody likes to use, little me time, little seclusion time, and that's good too. Nothing wrong with that. But as a matter of fact, I'm even kind of, giving that some props right now, because we need some time to clear our minds, clear our emotions. We need some time to, sometimes you have to hold on to that old thing that I've heard most of my life. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Sometimes, the best thing that some people can say to you is, "I'll see you after a while." Not that you want them gone forever, but a little rest. Well, really nobody can determine that but you. You have to figure out what brings emotional health to you, especially in the realm of people. People that we love, people that we have to tolerate, people that we work with because we want to, people that we work with and we have no say over it. So our mental health is so important. And I'm even going to say I feel differently today than I used to feel about counseling. I used to be that guy that was totally against it. I'm not today. Do I see a counselor? Nope, I don't. But if I needed to, would I? Absolutely. I would always be very careful who you allow to speak into your life, whether it's a counselor, pastor, teacher, whoever. Be very intentional about that. But yeah, if you need to talk to somebody, find somebody and talk to them. Sometimes it's good just to get some stuff out. Now, I will put a little caveat right here that death and life is in the power of your tongue. So be careful about that. Be very, well, I'm going to use it again, but be very intentional about that. So make sure that you maintain your mental, emotional health. They say that you should get enough sleep. I'm going to say they say because I don't want to be too hypocritical about this one. I do agree you've got to get rest. One of my mentors that I read, I don't know him, but a mentor of mine that I read a lot of his books and I listen to a lot of his messages and podcasts and things. He says that when fatigue moves in, faith moves out. And I would have to agree with that because we need rest. And the way I usually do it, I must say I don't have a set bedtime, which probably wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't have that. But when I feel my body, and I am a believer that not everybody needs as much sleep as everybody else, but because I can operate pretty good on a minimal amount. But there are days when I have to go, okay, I got to catch up. My body's telling me that I need rest. You really need to make sure, in all seriousness, that you're getting enough sleep because it's crucial. It's crucial to your health. You can deteriorate your health. You can eat right and exercise right, but your health can actually deteriorate because you don't get enough rest in some situations. Also, maintaining strong relationships. Can I just be really honest with you? Man, it's hard to get along with people sometimes. It is just hard to deal with people sometimes. So, what I do is I make sure that the people that are in my inner circle are people that I can trust. Because not every day of your life you're going to be 100% on it. Why? Because I'm a spirit, and my spirit being in Jesus is perfected. My spirit is perfect. But I'm a spirit that I live in a body and I possess a soul. My body is my flesh, right? Not perfect. And my soul is my mind, my will, my intellect, my emotions. Not perfect. Not perfected. I believe when we get saved, our spirit is protected within and in, however you want to say that, in Christ. So we have to understand that the other things, such as our physical being, we've talked about that, our emotional being, we've talked some about that. We have to really maintain that, and the way we do that, one thing that the reason we need to do that is because of relationships that we're in. We use our physical strength, we use our soulish realm a lot. Why? Because that's where our thinking comes from. That's where our reasoning comes from. That's where the emotions and stuff are fueled and affected through that soulish realm. You've heard of people say you have soul ties. Well, it's a real thing. I truly believe it's a real thing when we have soul ties with people. And it's not, soul ties don't just happen with men and women in relationships, but they happen on all different levels of relationships. And so we have to be careful about that. We have to maintain a healthy relationship health. I'm not saying that correctly, but you know what I mean. We have to, in our relationships, we have to stay healthy. And so family members, being in relationship with certain family members can be draining. I mean, whether it's immediate family or whether it's extended family. Oh, when this is being recorded, it's in the spring, going into summer. So it's reunion time, or in the South, decoration time, or family get-together time. And there's some family members that can absolutely drain you being around them. So we have to maintain that emotional, physical, intellectual health so that those relationships can stay healthy. And that's important as you get older. And here's what I've told my children. My kids are all adults now. When kids are teenagers or younger and they just bicker and fight and, just go back and forth with one another, that stuff just rolls off. As you get older, hurtful words seem to stick a little more. And I've told them that be careful how you talk to each other. Be careful as you get older. Be careful how you respond to one another. Because, as you get older, the elasticity in your face doesn't pull back quite as fast. Well, it seems that the elasticity in relationships doesn't snap back quite fast as they used to either. And that's really a concern. So be careful. Be mindful. Be intentional about healthy relationships. Finances. As men age, it's important to plan for different things and make sure that you have enough money in savings. You know what? I don't want to guilt or shame anybody if you are in that 30, 40, 50, 60 age and you don't have a retirement, you don't have any savings, you don't have anything. But wherever you are right now, start now. I'm just going to tell you, do the best you can. I teach my children, don't go so far in debt that you are slave to that lender. The Bible even says to don't be slave to the lender. We should be the lender and not the borrower. I'm not trying to condemn anybody that borrows money, by no means. But my point is, as we get older, our goal should be to, or let me say it this way. I don't want to seem like I'm looking down or pointing down. I'll just tell you my personal thing. My personal thing is I've always had this desire to be able to be there for my children. Now, there's a healthy and an unhealthy relationship financially with parents and adult children. And you have to really watch that. You really do. But I want to be able to at least be able to help myself enough financially where I can help them if they need it. And so that takes work. That if you're a young man or a young woman listening to this, start now. You may not even have any kids, but get a plan financially now and stick by it. There were certain things that I set as goals when I was a young man or younger man. And as I got older, I stuck with those convictions, and I'm very thankful today that I did. So as you age, finances should not hold your mind captive. It shouldn't. I don't watch the news, and the reason I don't, it's not that I try to stay with my head in the sand, but I'm very intentional on what I allow to come in. I do go, if I hear something, of course, being on social media, just being in the world today, I hear a lot of things. And if something, if the Holy Spirit directs me to, or if I feel that I need to know the ins and outs about a certain situation, I'll go search it out. I'll go find out the information for myself. But I don't sit around and listen to how bad the economy is and how bad, how expensive. Hey, if you go to the store very often, you'll know how expensive things are. So be careful not to allow the world view of the negative people around you to make you lose hope or lose faith in the ability to do good things financially and the ability to build wealth. Now, the Bible says he gives you the power to get wealth. It doesn't say that he makes you wealthy. He gives you principles and promises. He gives you direction. And when you do those things, you get what he says you can have. Let's talk about cognitive health for just a second. And what that means is, I know that most every family in some way has been affected by a couple different diseases on the earth today. Cancer being one of them, and dementia or Alzheimer's being another one. Is there anything we can do to help that? I believe there is. Now, I believe that, and I believe this not because I just sit around and go, well, I think this. I've read enough, because I have actually done quite a bit of research and study and just reading about foods that you're supposed to eat and different things that you should omit from your lifestyle to help in this area. But I also believe that engaging in activities that challenge your mind. That's why I really bothers me when I hear people that are aging go, I'm just going to sit around. I've worked. I'm not going to do anything. Man, get you a crossword puzzle. Watch Jeopardy at night or something. I don't know. Keep your mind engaged. Quite frankly, I'm just going to tell you, I don't ever want to stop working. Now, I don't want to have to do things I don't want to do as I get older, because when we're younger, we do things that we don't want to do just to make ends meet. Now, I don't want to have to do that, but I don't ever want to be irrelevant in the world, because my cognitive health it kind of depends on that. And so stay active. Maintain good relationships with people that you can have an intellectual conversation with every once in a while. Hey, I'm on social media as much as the next guy, maybe more than some, I don't know. But it will never take the place of human interaction and intellectual conversation. Find somebody. And as you get older, maybe it's your spouse, maybe it's your grown children, whatever. But stay active in the cognitive aspect. Here's the thing. Overall, paying attention to certain areas in your health will keep you moving in the right direction, and quite frankly, keep you moving. I'm going to give you a couple examples of things, and then I'm done. But a few years ago, I had a motorcycle wreck and didn't get hurt bad, just got mainly some road rash, and that wasn't fun. But one thing that happened is when the motorcycle came down on me, it hit me on this leg, and I kind of scooted a little bit before the motorcycle went that way, and I went straight on the asphalt. My knee kind of got messed up a little bit, and I mean, I didn't have a limp. But I told you earlier that I like to run. And I noticed after that when I would go run, this knee it never did swell up physically on the outside, but on the inside I could feel it just tight. And it would really affect, my leg. I stopped, because you can do the research. Dairy products cause inflammation. I stopped doing any kind of dairy. I don't do dairy except on rare occasions if some Mexican restaurant has really good queso. But I don't do dairy. And when I stopped doing dairy, and I was always a big milk drinker, but when I stopped doing that because of what dairy does to the body, I don't have absolutely zilch, no problem out of this knee. So I would not go back to dairy for my health. You say, well, I'm not giving up dairy. You don't have to. Maybe you don't have knee problems. Maybe you don't have joint problems. My point is, if you do see that your lifestyle, whether it be food or activity or a habit, if those things help in any way to deteriorate your health, whether it's something you watch on TV and it affects you emotionally or mentally, whether it's something you put in your mouth to eat, whether it's some kind of activity that puts you in danger, just understand that God has given you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and the ability to get more of all of those to maintain a healthy life, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And hey, I hope you live a long time to enjoy all the things that I know God wants to bless you with. I'm Jack Midkiff. I appreciate you being a part of this podcast, and I hope that you will be healthy, because the people around you would appreciate it, so you can stick around longer. Hey, have a good one. I'll see you next time.